Okay, so I thought we'll make a bit of a different video this week. So 1 year ago, I made a video on what I wanted to see change in the RTS and what I think could be improved. So in this video today, we'll be going over what I said 1 year ago. I'll leave the video link in the description if you want to check it out, and we'll see if anything's been improved, if it's been continuously getting worse, or if they've just not done anything to it. So technically, I said at the start of the video about gear. So it's an interesting one about gear. It's definitely improved, I guess. So what I said in the video was we need a 6-star gear map, and we need league tokens to reduce in prices because um, we just didn't have enough gear, and league tokens was the only real way of getting gear back then. But as you do know, with the mythic era, there has been the story map has extended. The story map has most definitely gave us a lot more gear. We can farm any gear we want pretty much just by searching it up. GPS, canteen, watches, radios, gillies, fire stars, whatever it might be, we can farm it. So there's no need for a gear map because in the story map we can just go to the stage and farm it repeatedly, which technically is a massive improvement. It's just better. Yeah, yeah, it's just improved. No, nothing bad can be said. It's just improved. Now, do I still think we need a league token reduction in price? No, not really. Like I said, you can still farm all that gear in the league token store, whenever you want, pretty much, as long as you've got world cans. And I'm pretty sure everyone has quite a few world cans to burn if they need to. That being said, I do think they should reduce the prices or at least add more items into the league store. So like some armory tokens, of blow torches, stuff like that, some newer stuff, because it hasn't been updated in a very long time, so that would be good. Also, dropping the price in the varnish and grease would be good because that is still crazy expensive, and I know a lot of people are in short of it. But just to go over the gear shortage, it's been dramatically improved. Now, is it perfect? No, but it is way, way better. Now, I also said we need more events that engage the community. I used the Aaron event as reference. Now, the Aaron event had things people needed. People actively grinded that event because there was stuff they needed. So if you weren't aware, the Aaron event gave you an Aaron, a choice of gear, and I believe there's a few extra bits and bobs you could pick up. Now, since that, has there been engaging events? Yes, but there has been some major, major fucking flaws with them. The Aaron event was pretty much completely free to play. You could grab everything you needed, um, very easily. But here's where I'm going to be a bit picky. So I'm not going to say the S class era because we're currently in Mythic. So I'll say since Mythic era start, we'll start from a clean slate. The Aika event, like people actively wanted her. It was good engagement. People were looking at the milestones. They were always completing the milestones. They were looking at the mission reward sheet, see where they were at. So the engagement was there. Problem: you couldn't get a maxed out one without spending. This is gonna be a common theme throughout the video, but you couldn't do it. Back in the day, the Aaron event, completely free to play. You could grab pretty much everything you wanted just by grinding. There is less grinding apparent nowadays. So, for example, cow. Cow is a great event. You can get 2 for free. But there's limit break in the game, meaning you need a third. You can't get a third without spending. Meaning it's putting people at a disadvantage who are free to play, and people who do spend are going to have a little bit more of an advantage. Now, granted, it's not a massive advantage, but you are, locking people out of these extra rewards. And let's be honest, the rewards that you're paying for are a lot better than what you would get for free to play, just the standard milestones and whatnot. So, for events and engagement is definitely still there. If the tune is decent, the engagement will still be there. But they're putting it more and more behind a paywall, and to me that is just shitting on the community. It should be you can get everything for free, but you've really got to grind your ass off. But if you want to speed things up, you can spend a little. get yourself there. Or if you don't want to grind as much, just spend a little bit here and there, and then you don't have to grind as much. But putting it purely behind a paywall is just not a good way to engage the community and, make everyone's overall enjoyment higher. So I'm going to say yes, no for events over the last year and a bit. They have been good, but paywall is just the big problem, and it needs to be more grindable. It should be, if you grind hard, you should get a reward for grinding hard. If you're lazy, you should get punished for being lazy. That's my opinion. So, next of all, trainers. Trainers, I said, was a massive problem because if you were around actively in the S-Class era, you know how much of a pain in the ass it was to level those things. And until this day, it still is crazy how much you need to level them up. Now, I do say with Mythics, they have made it better because there's a lot more way of getting XP. So, first of all, there's a trainer roadmap every week, so it's not much, but it does help. Also, they have introduced extra training ground levels, meaning you can actually have a chance of getting Basil's, Burt's, Benedict's, and all that, so that is great. There's extra ways of getting those trainers, which you desperately need. However, they do have the trainer pass, which it is fucking pretty shitty, especially with their newest Emerald pass. I don't know, some Emerald crap you gotta use on roadmap. It just seems a bit of a money grab on that part, but that being said, it has improved since last year, considering there is more availability, and when you do compete for milestones, there is a lot more trainers being offered. So with that being said, I do think it has improved. Trainers situation, it has improved. Is it where it needs to be? No, but it is a good start. We can get there slowly, and it's not going to take months and months to level up a toon like it did in the S-Class era. So with that being said, I think it has improved. Is it perfect? No, but it is definitely a good step in the right direction. Now also, I did mention food back in the day because I was a bit short on food, just because, those S-Classes just ate it like it was nothing. You're going through like a couple million just to even level them, like tens of millions to level them. So I suggested more gear markers from milestones. But, if you are actively doing conquest, you have excess rings. You can sell those excess rings for, gear markers. Also, there is a gear marker roadmap, meaning there's more access to food. Also, and I do think this is actually pretty good, to be fair. From war, you get 200k boxes of food, meaning it stacks in your inventory, meaning if you need to go above your storage limit, you can do that by just opening those boxes. And overall, yeah, you can see where I'm going with this. They take a lot less food because a lot less XP is needed, and overall, yeah, the food situation is pretty much sorted itself out. It wasn't a big problem, it wasn't everyone's problem, but it was my problem back then, and I do see a definite improvement, considering gear markers are a lot easier to come by. There's food from war. There's just loads of different ways to gain food. So next of all, this is a bit of a nitpick. It's more of a quality of life thing. I said if you're buying food from the shop with supply markers, you should be able to go over your limit. Just buy as much as you need, and then it'll just top over your limit. Obviously, that has not came up into the game. I said, just throw 10 million food, and then you would have 10 million food to use. But if you capped at 3 million, you'd only get 3 million, which was kind of annoying. But I don't see that as a big problem, so we'll dismiss that. Now here's a fun theme I thought I'd bring up, because 1 year ago I said prizes were the same old shit. Now we got to remember it was S-Class era, so it was just shards. But here's the problem: it was the same fucking rewards every single fucking week for weeks on end, months on end, and then maybe you get an extra card added into the mix. So with events how it is right now, we'll go back a little bit first. So there's just be the same cards over and over and over, and players would not get the newer toons because those cards just wouldn't be available. You wouldn't even get toons that were out like a month or two ago, 3 months ago, maybe 4 months, maybe. They just kept giving out the same shit every week, and people didn't give a fuck. To put it bluntly, they just didn't give a fuck. If you had that toon, you're like, nope, don't give a fuck, skipping the event. So with how that's been going in the future, did they improve it? They did improve it. going on into the S-Class era because they were offering more and more cards. But going into Mythics, because Mythics is what was relevant right now, there's definitely some problems. So, first of all, I don't see a problem with the gold medals. They are needed, they are very valuable, and they help people get tunes they have not got a second or third of, or even a first of. So I've got no problems with gold medals. However, I do have problems with, I think it's believed, I think it's elite tokens. Yeah, it's crap. They're crap. Just take them out. They are crap. And also, for raids I have a problem with as well, believe it or not. Raids, I don't think there should be silver tokens in there, because they're kind of... I don't want to say don't put them in there, but... where's the fucking Armory Tokens? Where's the fucking Armory Tokens? Raids have always been Armory Tokens. So, here's the thing again. Don't give... Like, I get it. Silver tokens, you need them. But... Raids have always been Armory Tokens. There's always been a reliable way of getting Armory Tokens. And not those fucking RNG shitty fucking... I forget the name of it. Let's call them weapon tokens. They're crap. It is RNG as fuck. Whether you... Like, you could get away with having... 5k Armory Tokens. Or you could get, like, 70 if you're lucky. 70k. Depending on where you place, how many tokens you get. Yeah, it varies. But raids have always been for Armory Tokens. And here's the thing I said back then. Armory tokens from raids were not enough. You needed to double those milestones to at least 160k, I said, for first place, 100k for second, or it was something like that. And I said, just increase it. Because I said top 50 minimum should have 50k armory tokens, because that is what is needed to 5-star weapon. And obviously, weapons are always going to be relevant. You're always going to need them. It's not like with tunes, they will always stay relevant. So I said, improve the fucking milestones on raids, increases everything on raids. The main price structure, it just needs armory tokens to be buffed. So that's my problem with raids. It is not improved a bit. Same with level ups. Gold medals are fine, but you can't be offering those elite fucking tokens. They're just pure shit. So I don't think that's improved at all, because you're still getting duff rewards. Every tier should be good. But, no, they're just giving out some random shit. And for, SR, it's mediocre. I wouldn't say it's better, I wouldn't say it's worse. But, we'll go into the big main event, War. I said, and I explicitly was saying, you need to buff the rewards for the lower end people, because they were getting fucking shafted. And I to this day, I still think they are getting shafted. So how would I improve this? Well, let's just think of this. Buff it. Just buff the rewards. Like, for every tier, make it so it goes up by a certain percentage. But there should be a baseline. Everything, like, the lowest you should go in, let's say, because it's steel medals at the moment. And I think 200 is for first, 175 is for second, probably 150 for third and fourth. So I say base anywhere should be 50 medals. That is just base. I would not drop it any lower than that, but I believe it maybe is lower than that. Also, give them some actual good gear down there. Like, just give them one ghillie and one fire starter, so they can at least tier up their tunes. And for war tokens, obviously it needs to go up, especially for the low end people, especially with the limit break now released. You need to buff it more than ever, so the little players actually have, you know, some war tokens, so they can get the tunes. Because ultimately, the people at the top, they're not going to need the tunes as bad as the people down below. So help them out by increasing the structure from the bottom up. So has the prices increased? No. Gotten better over the year? No, it fucking has not. So Scopely, that is something you definitely need to work on. Alright, let's speed run these next few points just so the video doesn't get too long. So first of all, 30 cards in the roadmap was ass, and since S-Class is no longer relevant, but you still need them to get those key collection trade-ins. Yeah, just Yeah, I said it 30 was still too little back then, and it's still 30 now. They should make S Class way easier to get, so for that aspect, no, it's not changed. They've just left it the fucking same and not updated it. Surprise, surprise. I said there should be a trade-in for cards. Is there a trade-in for cards from the S Class era? No, not really. So, have they improved on that? Nope. Should they put in a trade-in for cards? Yep, absolutely. They should do that for Armory Tokens. Maybe some blow torches. Maybe some gear if some people want it. Just stuff like that. Just for old cards, just a simple trade-in, like 10k tokens for 500 cards or something like that. So yeah, there definitely should be trade-ins. Yeah, Armory Tokens. It was a fun little conversation I had back then. So Armory Tokens, just not enough of it in the game. And do I feel like that's exactly the same now? Yep, Armory Tokens are still in short supply, and there's no real way of consistently getting them, minus raid tournaments, and even then in raid tournaments you're going off RNG because you're getting those shitty little tokens instead of the actual Armory tokens, which used to be the main prizes. So surprise, surprise, I'm not happy about that, and they have not improved on that. I also felt like crits were not working half the time back then, and crits were not critting as much as they should be. 65%? Absolutely not. I think I was failing on 5%, huges on attack, defense. Do I feel like it's exactly the same now and the army has not been improved? Yes, I do. The only way the army has improved for anyone is if you're a massive spender and you got a massive prestige, which gives you a little crit boost, more little bit of crit percentage. Whoopee fucking do. So yeah, I still think the armory needs a redo because the crits are just shit, and yeah, there's not enough armory tokens in the rotation. So yeah, they still need to fix that. Surprise, surprise. Now here's another thing I put about raids. Yeah, I just said general raids. They're competitive, but rewards need to be buffed up again. So going back on what I said earlier, yeah, just double the milestones for no, like double the just the price structure. So if we're going off armory tokens, which I was back then, 80k for first would be 160, and I think if it was like that through all the brackets, I think it would be a lot better instead of giving out those shitty silver tokens, instead of just the armory tokens, which was a good way of getting them before. I also said we need more grease varnish availability. Has that been increased or decreased over the past year? It's pretty much the same. It's still just as hard to get it as it was. The League store is a pretty reliable way of getting it, although it is very expensive, and there's not many League tokens in the rotation at the moment because of collections. Collections are taking up a lot of League tokens slots, so not many League tokens in rotation. So yeah, it's still just as hard to get it as it was back then. Faction challenges, I suggested just have like some faction challenges implemented in the game. Like you'll have weekly or monthly challenges like kill certain walkers, kill a certain amount of humans, craft as many weapons, and you'd get some rewards like armory tokens, markers, whatever it might be. You'd get some rewards just for engaging with the daily grind and get your faction involved, increase just daily productivity. But have they done that? No. They're sort of doing it with these like the cow Aiko and all that. Like they're having missions where if your faction reaches X amount of goals, you get some collectibles or whatnot for the current event, which isn't bad. It's not. Yeah, it's. I'll give them they're keeping factions involved because they need people to everyone in the faction to keep involved, keep getting involved to get the extra prizes. So I'll say that's kind of improved. It's definitely a lot more input on working together as a faction now. Tomb rebalances. I said this a while ago. I was a bit iffy about it at the time, but maybe going back to some old tunes and reworking them if But the thing is with this one, I did realize back in the day was if you do rebalance a tune, you're gonna get so much fucking backlash. So I do still think tune rebalances, if done well with communication, um, it's got potential. It really has. Um, it really does have potential. So we'll go maybe. We'll go with a maybe on that one. Maybe it's a good idea, maybe it's a bad idea. They've not done anything with it. I'm okay with that. And here's one that I heavily went in on last time: is free to play more tunes available. We just need more. We just need more tunes available to free to play, and like they've done really well with gold medals. The availability is there. You just gotta grind normal events to get those gold medals, and then there's loads of tunes available. So with that retrospect, I do say free to play tunes have been more accessible considering we're getting Connor in the museum soon. We're getting Dr. Steams in the Gold Mythic Wheel. Like, we're getting some very, very good tunes that are free to play, grindable. So, in that respect to Scopely, I will give it to them. It has improved. And I still think going forward, granted, you still need 2 or 3 tunes to max them out. But I still think going forward, if they keep adding people to the museum, reducing the reduction in price to the old characters by 1,000, then it is really, really fucking good. And I do think that's a good way forward. So yeah, that is spot on. Now here's the last thing, and I will say this is my biggest fucking thing: communication. Communication. I said they should do a Q&A every week, maybe live stream, get people's opinions going. Yeah, no. Like there's an area in the Discord where people are like, yeah, this is going here, this is doing that. Like obviously we got the recap, we got Embassy, but that's not really by Scopely. That's more by the community. So yeah, occasionally a dev will come in and be like, oh, yep, this is not working as intended. Yes, we are working on this. But it's not enough. It's really not enough. And also, Tex, he's nowhere near as active as he used to be when it came to the Discord when it was first released. So I don't think communication is there. I still think it's very poor. We're still waiting on this Gov main bug to be fixed. No ETA on when it's going to be done. They're saying, oh yeah, we're working on it, which could be a month, it could be a year. Who knows at this rate? It's Scopely. So that is just definitely not there. I also said, give us a heads up on what you're going to be releasing. So yes, they are doing that in the official announcements. Oh, this event's coming, this is what's going to entail. But they're not asking for our opinions on the rewards, really. They're like, oh, well guys, we're thinking of doing this event. These will be the rewards. What do you think? That's what I was really hoping for, but they're just saying, yeah, this is the event, this is when it's going to start, this is what you need to do, and yeah, so it's a good start, but it's not fully there. We still need to have our say in it, because at the end of the day, we're the ones who's going to be playing it, we're the one who's going to be grinding for it, we need to have a say in it. But I will say, they are at least giving us heads up on events and what we need to do in these events, so I'll give them that. So I do think that has improved slightly over the year. So in the last year, what do I think has just generally improved? I definitely think the food situation has improved. I do think there's definitely a few with the gold medals and the museum. There's loads of ways to get tunes now. And with the release of Connor, which will be very soon, in there, that's a huge step up for free to play. I still think the rewards need to be reworked, because some of the rewards in there, like the silver tokens and raids, shouldn't be there. It should be armory tokens. In the solo level ups, we don't need those elite tokens. We need some actual good stuff in there. And for war, the structure just needs to be reworked. Everyone needs to get some more prizes, and everyone needs to feel more valued. Generally, I think S classes should be way easier to come by, considering they're useless. And I do think platinum mods should be more widely available in prizes as well, so maybe throw them here and there. I know they're available in raids, but not really anywhere else. They've definitely made progress when it comes to trainers. They've made progress in some respects to communication, at least giving us heads up of events. I will say general engagement for events is definitely there. They're keeping people actively wanting to fight for the reward, but they're just putting it behind a paywall, which is ultimately a shit idea. And yeah, it's pretty much the same as it was last year. You've heard what I've been saying. It's pretty much the same as last year. So with that being said, nothing's really changed. A few things have gotten better, a few things are pretty much the same, but I wouldn't say anything's gotten worse to an extent. They've taken out the armory tokens and raids. That's my real big iffy. But yeah, I wouldn't say it's worse. I wouldn't say it's a little better, but overall it's just same old RTS, same old scopely, same player base. So with that being said, yeah, have a good day.